7 News at 6.
A man is now in jail, but does he have the answers to what happened to a Southern Kentucky woman who vanished 5 months ago? Corky Hendricks was found Monday night. Police say he was with 26-year-old Leanna Brumley before she vanished. As WINT's Phil Pendleton reports, police feel like they are starting to make some progress.
And that was the last thing I heard from her.
The past 5 months have not been easy for Leanna Brumley's family.
There's a little boy who's 7 years old who's going every day without his mommy, and that is very hard for him.
She vanished in late May, leading her family to question what happened. Since then, answers have been few and far between. The case took an uptick when Corky Hendricks was named as a person of interest. Then he was arrested on unrelated warrants.
Made it a lot easier, made it very less stressful on wondering when her story will be over.
Police say Hendricks had been living in a tent, trying to avoid capture before he was found in a car late Monday night on Adams Road. Police say they're not sure what his relationship was to Brumley, just that he was one of the people last seen with her.
We're wanting to talk with that. He's stating he will talk to us, but he wants to have his attorney present.
Because we've been waiting since May to know what happened to her, and it's just a waiting process.
For now, Corky Hendricks only faces the indictment warrant charges, such as possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, marijuana cultivation, and being a persistent felony offender, but police say they do expect that he will face more charges. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Hendricks remains in the Pulaski County Jail. He said he did not want to talk to us about his charges. The Pike County Sheriff's Office arrested a convicted sex offender yesterday at Valley Elementary School. They say 74-year-old Richard Bartley of Pikeville was arrested in the parent pickup line outside the school. Chief Deputy Lynn Cross says a concerned family resources officer contacted the Sheriff's Office when they connected Bartley to the sex offender registry. Deputies verified that Bartley is on the registry with 2 counts of sexual abuse and 2 counts of rape. Cross says there were no reported incidents involving any children at Valley Elementary, but he says Bartley's presence on school grounds was a rules violation.
And the main goal is obviously to keep the children safe. So this, we feel, is keeping the children safe by putting this sexual offender in jail because they are in violation of their of the law.
Bartley was taken to the Pike County Detention Center. Cross says people can do their part by reporting any similar safety issues to the department's tip line, and that number is 606-766-5555. A Knox County grand jury will hear a shooting case. Police arrested Jerry Smith earlier in October. Investigators believe he shot a man. They charged him with first-degree assault. Smith's arrest citation does not detail what led to the shooting or the name of the victim. The grand jury is scheduled to hear Smith's case in November. They will decide whether or not to indict him.
And that cold front moved through today, but now we are seeing that beautiful weather. A little bit soggy start earlier this morning. We'll go ahead and take you to a few of our cameras. US 119 and to Pine Mountain. You see plenty of sunshine, starting to see those fall-like temperatures as well, and really those fall-like leaves. Looking on top of Buffalo Mountain, absolutely gorgeous. That sun is starting to set earlier and earlier, but at least we're getting that gorgeous view now. And satellite and radar, it's been quiet throughout the past couple of hours, but you see those clouds and those rain chances a little bit earlier. Those have definitely moved out of the area. Checking out those temperatures, anywhere from about those low to mid 60s across the mountains, seeing maybe a 50s down into Williamsburg, 63 into Harlan, 64 into Prestonsburg. And those wind speeds have been anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour, gusting sometimes up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. So a little bit on that windy side. We'll continue that as we head into the rest of those overnight hours, but temperatures will become pretty chilly, upper 30s, lower 40s with some patchy fog late tonight, early as we head into tomorrow. But what does Wednesday's forecast look like? I'll have that for you coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. Well, many flowers do not do well, obviously, in the cold weather, but there are some you should plant before the cold weather hits. Plant experts say bulbed plants take months to develop, so you should begin preparing them now.
This time of year, we're really focused on bulbs because we're looking forward to spring, and your bulbs will start blooming as early as February, sometimes even a little bit earlier than that. There's a whole lot that kind of goes beyond tulips and daffodils and crocus. Those are kind of the key ones that we all love.
Experts recommend that if you do plant any bulbs, the best time to do so is between October 15th and Thanksgiving. When President Trump comes to Lexington to rally for Governor Bevin, he will be surrounded by security. The November 4th event at Rupp Arena falls on the eve of Election Day. But Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton says the city will not charge the campaign for the extra police. Shelby Lofton explains the standing policy against billing politicians for a visit.
Mayor Linda Gorton is addressing the cost of President Trump's visit to Rupp Arena on November 4th. She's responding to questions on Facebook today on who exactly will pay for the rally. The mayor explained that Rupp Arena is a public facility and the Lexington Center must rent out the space to any lawful organization if the schedule is open. Trump's re-election campaign has already paid the $40,000 base rental fee and will pay for the cost of additional staff. But Lexington will be footing the bill for security. Gorton wrote that it's standard practice for the city to bring in a heavier police presence for events that will bring crowds of more than 10,000. Mayor Gorton acknowledged the additional cost of security, saying the city has historically covered them when nationally elected leaders have come into town. She ended her post emphasizing safety and the protection of freedom of speech. In Lexington, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
The doors of Rupp Arena will open at 4 o'clock on November 4th. The rally starts at 7 p.m. To get tickets, you will need to register online. Well, as we quickly approach Election Day, 2 weeks out now, beginning today, you can submit a ballot before November 5th, but you need a good reason. You can be a student who goes to school away from home, disabled or sick, in the military, or have other commitments. To request a mail-in form, contact your local county clerk's office. It's due back when the polls close at 6 p.m. November 5th. You can also vote in person. Selected schools in eastern Kentucky received federal grant money to improve safety measures. WYMT's Katie Cook talked to members of one of those school districts to see how they are using their share of the funding.
Some schools like Corbin Elementary are now able to ramp up safety measures.
Any layer of extra protection that you can add that gives them this sense of security that it's going to be okay to be at school.
The school district is receiving more than $150,000 for improvements.
We want the students to come to school and feel safe.
Part of the funds are going toward upgrading the bottom windows of the elementary school.
We have safety film on all of our buildings except this particular building, which that's what we applied for.
Decreasing the chances of someone breaking in. Some of the grant money will also be used to put new cameras and safer windows on buses.
These are not things that we want to think about. These are not things that you think that you would have to put in a budget when you're thinking about a school.
But thanks to receiving this grant,
it makes the parents feel safer, makes the kids feel safer.
Students are even more protected than they were before. In Corbin, Katie Cook, WYMT Mountain News.
Clay and Letcher counties also received grant money for improved safety measures. A Whitley County grand jury indicted the former Williamsburg director of the Housing Authority on 45 counts. James Lovett is accused of forging thousands of dollars in checks. Police say the misappropriation of federal housing dollars could have gone back several years. Lovett is responsible for at least the last two. He faces 34 counts for second-degree forgery, 10 counts of theft by deception, plus 1 count of abuse of public trust. One Johnson County educator received the nation's highest honor given by the United States government to teachers. Highlands math teacher Melanie Ramey received the Presidential Award of Mathematics and Science Teaching. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked with some of her students about why she deserves this award.
From the time these little feet enter her classroom,
good morning, how are you?
Miss Melanie Ramey strives to instill more than just a math lesson to these Highland Elementary 4th graders.
When faced with troubles and challenges, we want to quit and we want to give up. And so that's why a lot of times students say they don't enjoy math.
But she hopes to teach her students to push their limits.
It's not so much the math, it's the persistence.
Which is how she lives her life.
I tell my kids to take the risk and go for it and have growth mindset, so that's what I did.
After taking that leap, she accomplished her goal, receiving the Presidential Award of Mathematics and Science Teaching.
Do you think she deserves this award?
Definitely.
Jackson and Nara say naming their favorite teacher is as easy as
1, 2, 3. She's amazing. She's like the best teacher I've ever had.
And because of her unique teaching methods.
We're excited and we're just ready to learn every day.
Teaching life lessons inside and outside her classroom in Johnson County.
Just always try your best and never give up.
Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Melanie Ramey received a tour of the White House plus a certificate from President Donald Trump. She says she is thankful for the experience.
And more sunshine is in store as we head into your Wednesday. Temperatures start to warm up Thursday before more rain chances return back to the mountains. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
But first, one organization continues its quest to build affordable homes in eastern Kentucky.